Well, this morning we are recognizing a local author from Chanute, Kansas this morning, Maranda Collins, who just released her debut novel, On the Run. Now, this book is a suspense thriller. I've started reading it. It's awesome, and it has ties to the four-state area. When I had you on earlier this morning, we talked details about the book and stuff, but what inspired you to get into writing?
I've always loved to read and write, and it was something that I wanted to pursue. I've spent a number of years in our ag businesses. We have a small family ag business in seed and chemical in Chanute. And my degrees and background are in science and agriculture, but I always had these stories just burning holes in my brain. And once I got my kids raised, I decided I was going to get serious about writing and publishing. And people are telling me that it's fast-paced, it grabs them from the beginning, and that's the type of story I like. And so I was inspired to write something that I would enjoy reading.
Okay. So you'd probably recommend that it's never too late to get into writing.
Oh, absolutely. And if that's something you have an interest in, I encourage you to read the authors that you love, study their plotting, study their use of theme, study their dialogue, get involved in local writers groups. I'm involved in the local writers group, the Chanute Library Writers, and we support each other. We do little writing challenges, and I learn amazing things from other local people who like to write. There's a lot of self-help books online that you can purchase. I had been writing stories for a number of years, and I have a whole bunch that went to die in the graveyard of my computer because I didn't have a great grasp on plot. And so one book that I highly recommend is Save the Cat Writes a Novel, because it tells you how to hit the points that readers expect. Otherwise, you're going to disappoint readers, and your story just sort of fizzles out if you don't reach those certain points. Now, it's not meant to be a cookie cutter way to approach a book. You know, you don't want it to sound like every other thing on the market, but it does tell you what people are expecting in terms of where to hit those points at certain spots in the book. And that made a big difference for me, and it's helped me write stories that people are really enjoying.
So have you ever found yourself just stuck with writer's block, don't know where to go? What advice do you have for those?
There are two things that work well for me. One, I will swap and work on a different project, or something about getting in the car loosens up my creativity. I will often dictate into the notes section of my phone. Now, I do that safely. I just speak into my phone without looking at it, and then I take that back and I will input it into my manuscript. Now, I have to be sure that my phone interprets what I say, because the one day I had said your chariot awaits, and when I got back and inputted it into the manuscript, my phone had interpreted that as your Cheerios await. So I'm just careful about how I edit. But I find that's a good way for me to really loosen up my creativity. I probably wrote 12 chapters in my most recent book, On the Road.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and you know, make the use of the time you have. We all have busy lives. You know, people that are raising kids, or they have a full-time job. Find time to write. I'll do that in the morning when I've got a little time eating my breakfast, or like I said, when I'm on the road. I mentioned that we work in a seed business. Sometimes I'll be out delivering seed and I'll be working on my book at the same time. So I'm just finding creative ways to multitask, because I love doing this and it's something that I want to pursue, and I've just found a way to make it work.
I do find my drives to work in the morning, there's not a lot of people on the road, and that's when my imagination is the best. Yes.
There's something about that driving that, and even writing, because sometimes my husband will start driving and I'll be over there typing, and he laughs about retiring and someday becoming my driver so that I can write while he drives.
You need the price of gas to go down
Yes,
even further.
exactly.
Okay, so your book has done so well, actually, that you are getting a trip out to Vegas. Talk about this.
I am. So I submitted the book for consideration for the Adventure Writers competition with no expectation that I had any chance of winning. And when they notified me that I was a finalist, I went to look at the prize package because I hadn't even looked before. I called my mom and I said, I'm a finalist. And she said, what'd you win? I said, I don't know, I haven't looked yet. And it's a cash prize and a trophy, consideration of publication by Brave Ship Books. And the very cool thing about this, it's sponsored by the Clive Cussler family. And Clive Cussler is a very famous best-selling author who was the author of the Dirk Pitt series. And it's so very cool to be honored in his family legacy. And so I get to fly out there October 8th
To Vegas.
and they're going to announce the winner. And it was an international competition with submissions from over 10 countries, and now I'm in the top 3. They'll unveil the Grandmaster prize that night. But either way, I won a Clive Trophy, and I'm just really honored by that, and love that other people enjoy. I'm going to, yes, I get that seal that I'm a Clive winner, so that's super exciting for me.
That is really cool. Well, congratulations on that. And if you would like to get a copy of this, you can find it on Amazon, or you can go to Always Buying Books in Joplin this Saturday. Give us the details.
Yep, I will be there from 1 to 3. I highly recommend you come by and see me. I'll have books available for sale. I'll be signing those. We can visit about the book and about the future of the series. Come in and see Bob at Always Buying Books. He is so supportive of local authors. There are amazing treasures in there. I always love just, poking around in their stacks, but come by and see me. I'd love to visit about the book.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming.
Thanks for having me.
And good luck on your future novels as well, because Sadie Lynch is a series. So
yes, it is.
Excited to see the next one.
Thank you.
All right. We'll be right back.